Do you know what's crazier than receiving an actual complete game at purchase in 2025? Receiving 8 in one collection all at once. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is out now, and honestly, it might be the best these cult classic fighting games have ever looked. This isn't just some lazy ROM dump with a fancy menu. Capcom have delivered a proper time capsule, highlighting some of their most creative, chaotic and overlooked fighters from the twilight of the arcade era. No Street Fighter 2 here. Instead, we get deep cuts and long-lost favourites of titles many fans have been crying out to be brought back for decades. There are so many polished classics to enjoy, but what's better is that the collection includes a rollback netcode, online matchmaking, advanced training tools, visual tweaks, and a gallery packed with nostalgic imagery and unreleased art. So, join me today as we not only celebrate this release, but celebrate it in the coolest way possible, as this is no ordinary upload. This is an officially sanctioned late decade cross Capcom collaboration. With a sponsorship like this, I guess some dreams do come true. So with that said, I am Lady Decade, and it's time to talk about the amazing Capcom Fighting Collection 2, the compilation that changes everything. Let's be honest, when most retro collections promise quality of life improvements, it usually means save state and not much else. But Capcom Fighting Collection 2 actually goes further. All 8 games now support rollback netcode, delivering smooth, responsive online play, even for the deep cuts. Ranked and casual matchmaking are included, plus lobbies, spectator mode, global leaderboards, and so much more. The training tools aren't just an afterthought, they're properly integrated. You've got hitbox visualization, input delay readouts, and damage indicators all baked in. There's even a one-button mode for newcomers, mercifully banned in Ranked, and best of all, it's out now on all major consoles and Steam. And if you're feeling a bit bougie, there's even a bundle deal on Capcom's official site that nets you both collections, 18 classic fighting games in one go. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment to check it out. And if that still doesn't convince you, then stick around, because the rest of this video just might. Beyond the quality of life changes I just covered, visually you can tweak CRT filters and screen size to your taste. The gallery mentioned earlier includes over 700 pieces of art and 300 music tracks, some previously unreleased. Add control remapping, adjustable difficulty, marquee views, and unlockable fighter awards, and this feels like a celebration and not a cash-in. This isn't just a repackaging, it's a restoration, and we haven't even touched the games yet. Let's start with the rather wordy Capcom vs SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro. Back in 2000, Capcom and SNK finally gave fans what they've been dreaming of, a proper crossover between two of the biggest juggernauts in fighting game history. Millennium Fight 2000 threw Street Fighter icons against SNK's finest. Ryu versus Terry, Chun-Li versus Mai, and sparked endless debates over who had the better supers. The Pro version added some balance tweaks and 2 new characters, Dan from Capcom and Joe Higashi from SNK, just enough to spice things up. Gameplay centers on 2 systems, the ratio system where your team must total a strength of 4, so go with 1 powerhouse or 3 lightweights, your call. And the groove system, which lets you choose between Capcom-style meter building or SNK-style charge mechanics. Strategic, assuming you understand what you picked. It sticks to SNK's 4-button layout, which feels clean and simple, though Capcom players might miss their mediums. Visually, it's vibrant and full of late Dreamcast era flair. In the collection, it brings some nice upgrades, cleaner stage visuals, a music select for each stage, and accessibility tweaks to ease newcomers in before they're bodied by someone still grinding CVS2. To this day, Millennium Fight 2000 Pro remains a tight, stylish fighter and a perfect snapshot of a time when studio rivalries were settled with uppercuts. But then, of course, we have the legendary Capcom vs SNK 2. If Millennium Fight 2000 was Capcom and SNK shaking hands, then Capcom vs SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium 2001 is them throwing down in a fireworks factory. the roster explodes to 48 characters, pulling in everyone from Street Fighter and King of Fighters to Samurai Showdown and Garu Mark of the Wolves. The ratio system returns with a twist. You assign the values, build a balanced team, or dump everything onto one overpowered beast and hope for the best. Meanwhile, the groove system offers 6 styles based on classic mechanics, from Alpha's custom combos to Street Fighter free parries and King of Fighters super mashing. It's flexible, brilliant, and frequently confusing. Gone is the SNK 4-button setup, replaced by Capcom's full 6-button scheme, giving you longer combos and more room to show off. With flashy 3D backdrops and an announcer who sounds like he moonlights at a fashion show, CVS2 is pure spectacle. This collection adds a few extras too: a new sound style toggle with a remixed version 2K25 soundtrack, version select including EO with simplified controls, and all the hidden characters like Evil Ryu and Ultimate Rugal unlocked from the start. Sure, the game might often be considered unbalanced and chaotic to many purists, but it's still one of the most beloved 2D crossover fighters ever made. Deep, stylish, and endlessly entertaining. It's the heart of this collection and easily one of the best reasons to grab it. As awesome as this title is, what would any Capcom compilation be without a Street Fighter game? But fortunately, this collection delivers there too. If Street Fighter Alpha 3 wasn't Capcom's big farewell to the Alpha series, Alpha 3 Upper is a director's cut. Bigger, slightly messier, but more complete. This version expands the roster with Street Fighter 2 veterans like Fei Long, T-Hawk, DJ and Guile, because let's be honest, no game's truly done until Guile's hair shows up. The game's core remains the ISM system. A-ism for the classic 3-level super meter, X-ism for big damage and fewer options, and V-ism for custom combo madness that once made tournaments look like performance art. Upper tones down V-ism's worst exploits and irons out the crouch cancel nonsense, making it far more competitive without losing its soul. In Capcom Fighting Collection 2, this version finally gets what many think it's needed: a full training mode, because let's be fair, you're not learning V-ism mid-match. And there are also save/load features for retrying Vega's wall nonsense and display settings so that at least your defeats look good. It's deep, stylish, and packed with fan favourites and obscure characters alike. Alpha 3 Upper remains one of Capcom's richest 2D fighters, a game that punishes arrogance and rewards obsessive training. Perfect if you're the type that still thinks you've got it. And now, for something completely different. Capcom Fighting Evolution is easily the strangest entry in this collection and the most experimental. Originally pieced together after the cancellation of Capcom Fighting All-Stars, it brings together characters from 5 different Capcom series, each one keeping their original mechanics. Alpha fighters have custom combos, Street Fighter 3 characters can parry, Darkstalkers bring their usual chaos, and yes, the Red Earth monsters are finally playable outside of fan trivia. Instead of one unified system, each fighter plays by their own rules, and that's the hook. You choose 2 characters per match, but there's no tagging, just a round-by-round switch. Less team synergy and more rotating shift work. Some matchups feel inspired, others a bit absurd, but that mix is exactly what gives it personality. Now, with rollback netcode, training tools, and a bit of retrospective appreciation, Capcom Fighting Evolution gets a much-needed second chance. It might not be the star of the show, but it's a fascinating relic of Capcom's experimental phase, and a fun one to revisit, especially if you consider yourself somewhat of a historian like me. But that's only half the games covered so far. Power Stone isn't your typical fighting game, and that's exactly why it stands out. Released in 1999 as a Dreamcast launch title, it's brought 3D arena brawling to the forefront with explosive energy, breakable scenery, and more flying furniture than a wrestling pay-per-view. Instead of trading blows in a flat stage, you're running, climbing, and lobbing anything not nailed down. Each character has their own style, but let's be honest, we were all just trying to transform. Grab 3 Power Stones mid-fight, and you you evolve into a souped-up version of yourself, unleashing screen-filling chaos. There's no block button, no tight combos, just movement, mayhem, and the constant threat of getting flattened by a parasol. In Capcom Fighting Collection 2, this game keeps its original spirit but gains a few key upgrades. Rollback netcode for smooth online play, built-in training tools, and visual filters with gallery unlocks for the nostalgic crowd. This one was never about balance. It was about chaos. And whether you're a veteran or a newcomer, Power Stone still delivers, now without needing to own a Dreamcast. Though, to be fair, I have one anyway. If the original Power Stone was a tidy one-on-one brawl, Power Stone 2 is a sequel that sets the arena on fire and invites 3 more people to join the chaos. Released in 2000 for the Dreamcast, it turns the series into a full-blown party brawler. Up to 4 players can duke it out solo or in teams across wild, shifting stages. 1 minute you're flinging candlesticks in a mansion, the next you're tumbling down a collapsing airship, dodging flamethrowers. The transformation mechanic returns, but now multiple players can power up at once, turning matches into full-blown kaiju battles. With over 150 usable items, from bombs and chairs to plungers, every round is delightfully unpredictable. Adventure mode even lets you collect and combine gear between fights, adding even more to the mayhem. In Capcom Fighting Collection 2, this fan favourite gets the upgrade it always deserved. Rollback netcode makes online chaos smooth, save and load functions let you recover from lava mishaps, and training tools are included, though let's be honest, trying to train for Power Stone is like revising for a food fight. It's loud, it's silly, and it's perfect with friends. And even 2 decades later, Power Stone 2 is definitely still one of the most entertaining multiplayer fighters ever made. Only Capcom could turn anime high school drama into a 3D fighting game where every disagreement ends in a flying kick through a vending machine. Project Justice, the sequel to Rival Schools, is gloriously over the top and all the better for it. Released in 2000, it dials everything up. A bigger cast, flashier moves, and a plot where students are framed for crimes, friendships fall apart, and the solution is always a team-based beatdown in the hallway. You pick 3 fighters, but instead of tagging mid-match, you rotate them between rounds. The Vigor meter fuels everything from flashy team-up attacks to full-blown party-up socials, plus team-up cancels, which interrupt supers with a mid-fight anime duel, naturally. The cast is chaotic perfection. Sports captains, delinquents, honour students, and exchange students with accents that raise eyebrows. It's like every school club is a martial arts team and everyone's having a bad week. In Capcom Fighting Collection 2, this cult classic gets the restoration it always deserved. Enhanced story visuals, a remixed soundtrack option, Kyosuke's aerial float toggle, and for the first time outside Japan, the pre-made edit characters are now fully playable. Project Justice is stylish, ridiculous, and full of heart. And it may have slipped under the radar, but this collection gives it the second shot it deserves. Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bilstein might be the strangest game in this entire collection, and that's saying something. Released in arcades in 1998 and later on the Dreamcast, it is the sequel to Star Gladiator, Capcom's first stab at a 3D weapons fighter. It's fast, flashy, and gloriously unhinged. You've got a plasma katana-wielding hero, a brain in a robot villain, and a sentient satellite dish with legs. With A and B for attacks, a kick button, and sidestepping, it's floaty, combo-heavy, and just chaotic enough to stay fun. The standout feature is the Plasma Field, a glowing cube that traps both fighters and gives each one temporary powers. Some become invincible, others stop time, and just a few go full anime meltdown. Other quirks include Plasma Revenge, a one-time counter, multiple endings based on performance, and 2 previously hidden characters, Kaidi and Ryon, now unlocked by default, sparing us all from the 1990s cheat code nonsense. The game is soaked in early 2000s energy, neon explosions, dramatic voice acting, and a story that reads like Flash Gordon crossed with a philosophy thesis. In Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Plasma Sword finally gets its second shot, with rollback netcode, training tools, tools, and sharper visuals. It might not be the most refined fighter here, but is easily one of the most imaginative. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 isn't just another retro bundle, it's a proper celebration of Capcom's fighting legacy beyond Street Fighter 2. From icons like Capcom vs SNK 2 to cult favourites like Project Justice and glorious oddities like Plasma Sword, this collection brings them back with real upgrades, rollback netcode, training tools and thoughtful extras that make them more accessible and more fun than ever. This isn't a cash-in, it's a love letter to fans, to forgotten gems and the glorious chaos of Capcom's golden age. So, if you're tired of the usual re-releases and want something with more airships, anime and attitude, grab Capcom Fighting Collection 2 or both compilations containing 18 games in one bundle across all major consoles and Steam via my link down below. And if you're heading online, I'll be the Chun-Li booting you into next week. Just don't blame the netcode. I hope you enjoy these amazing games and I'll see you again very soon.